So welcome back to another episode, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different for the show. I'm going to review an independent movie called Space Cop by Red Letter Media.
I'm a space cop. A cop from the future of space. The future? My wife's dead. The past? She's not even born yet. This is the only picture I have of her. This is my most treasured possession.
You broke your picture.
Now, for anybody who's been following Space Cop, the adventures of the making of Space Cop, it's been a movie that's been in the works for nearly 3 years. It really has. Now, I have to start at the beginning and talk a little bit about Red Letter Media before I even begin. I have never said this on the show, but I am a huge fan of Red Letter Media. Do any of you guys know Red Letter Media? If you don't, I'll put a link down below. Go check out their channel. My ultimate favorite YouTube channel of all time. And okay, this is really weird. The very first time I ever saw Red Letter Media, it was years ago. Like, I must have been about 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. It was the beginning of YouTube. And I saw a review, a kind of a documentary on the United States of No. I don't know if I can't find the video anymore. If anybody knows where the video is, please tell me below. But where they were going and interviewing people about, Darth Vader going, no, and how it kind of destroyed, Revenge of the Sith. That's a terrible scene. I always thought it was such a bad scene, but a lot of people were like, no, it's a good scene. I'm like, no, it's not. And I went online and I found this video and I was like, I fully agree with these guys. Finally. And then the next thing, I never saw the channel again. It was one of those videos I came across by pure accident. And then years later, I saw the Phantom Menace review that made Red Letter Media become super famous. The review of the Phantom Menace right here. Well, let's get that the hell out of the way. But I was watching these reviews and I'm like, this is funny stuff, Like, I think it just brought a lot of attention to the channel. And then the guys on there, which is Mike, Jay, and Rich Evans, they started to do other things, other skit shows that were unbelievable, like Half in the Bag and, Best of the Worst. And I must admit, I became an addict of the channel. I really love their production value. I love what they were doing over there. And I've supported them. I have, financially supported them over the years because I really believe in the stuff they've been doing. Their Harry S. Plunkett posters and, Jumping the Shark posters right here. And a lot of their DVDs, like the Red Letter Media Archive Collection Volume 1, which I guess is sold out now. And let's start at the beginning with some of their earlier movies that lead into Space Cop, because I'm going to get to it in a second. But I really have to talk about their beginnings, and it really tells a lot more about Space Cop if you hear about their beginnings. That I guess years ago, they'd, when they were a lot younger, they'd worked on this movie, Gorilla Interrupted, and it's one of those movies that you make with your friends and you piece together and, you laugh at, and then years later you're like, oh my god, I can't believe we made that. It's terrible. But it's super nostalgic. And I watched Gorilla Interrupted. It should be a movie that I couldn't stand to watch. You know what I mean? It should be repulsing me. But it doesn't. It's so charming and fun, and you can see the enthusiasm. And this is, these guys made a lot of independent films before this, a lot of small little things. But when they got together and they made this film, you can see a little bit of magic there. There's a lot of humor, a lot of weird stuff, and that is continued on in all of their movies, and that is part of their charm. So this is a very no-budget film, but it's a lot of fun. Now, after quite a few years of learning filmmaking, lighting, better camera equipment, acting, it's just a storyboarding process of film, they made Feeding Frenzy, which is kind of like an homage to, like Critters, the small little creature, movies of the 80s. And they decided to do their own version of that. And man, this is such a step up for them. And I was so impressed with what they created with Feeding Frenzy. I've watched it about 3 or 4 times now. All the deleted scenes, all these behind the scenes stuff, and it's just so interesting to see their progress as filmmakers. And that leads us into this. Space Cop, their latest offering. Oh my god, where do I even begin? This movie is a triumph for Red Letter Media. It really is. It just shows the progress of enthusiastic filmmakers, people who love film, making their own films. And it's really a beautiful thing to see them get to this point.
Space Cop, there's more to solving a case than violence and explosions.
I did not think this through.
You've got to use your mind and your wits.
What?
So what is Space Cop about without spoilers? I guess I don't want to ruin any spoilers, but if you've seen any of their other films, you kind of know the direction that it'll go in. It's a cop from the future who comes back into the past, and he's working with another detective, I won't do any spoilers there, to figure out and solve this alien conspiracy thing that's kind of going on. And obviously in the end, it's a big battle and all that kind of stuff. And that's the basics of the movie. It really is. But what is going on in the movie itself? Like, what sets this apart? It is hilarious. This movie is genuinely really funny stuff. The timing, it's funny to see the progress of the movies. I had to talk about the progress of the movies. To see their pacing in Space Cop is really improved. It's really, really good. They've learned a lot over the years, and it really shows in Space Cop. The special effects are awesome. We're talking a lot of model shots and, a lot of stuff we always want to see in movies, and done in a hokey, schlock type of way that is unbelievably fantastic. It really is. Their lighting is stupendous. I can't believe they built a cop car, and just the amount of sets that they built is impressive. And this is a no-budget film. That's why I wanted to review it. It's a movie they put their own money into to finance, and to see what they put up on screen is just a work of art. I'm unbelievably blown away by this film. I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I had no idea how much I was going to enjoy it. And Rich Evans plays Space Cop, and as I say, he's a kind of a Judge Dredd with a, I wouldn't say Snake Plissken voice, or maybe the Snake from Metal Gear Solid. He has that kind of presence to him, but he is a humorously fucked up character, and I'll leave it at that.
Let's see what some future technology can do. Oh no, porn ads. I think I downloaded a virus.
Oh my god, the garbage cans! Ah!
And it's interesting to hear some of the inspirations for the movie as well. I can hear Fletch in there, the music from Fletch, and I can also hear Escape from New York in there, which are really interesting combinations, but when you see the film, you can kind of understand it. So, man, I was so impressed with this movie, and let me tell you, I live in Canada, and the exchange rate between the United States and Canada is insane. Plus shipping, this cost me like $50. Canadian. So like for other, places around the world, that's like 25 cents. Honestly, but an expensive Blu-ray, but completely worth it, and one I'm so happy to add to the collection of Red Letter Media, Blu-rays and DVDs now. I was just so impressed with the movie. I had such a good time watching it. It's got so many great special features. I've never talked to the Red Letter Media guys. This is not some advertisement for them. It is in the sense that I really enjoy the stuff they do, and I think, something you enjoy something, you should really try to push it out there and get other people to see it, and hopefully enjoy it the way you do yourself. I really enjoy Red Letter Media. I think they do some amazing work over there. And for anybody interested, I think they're going to put it up for download in the future. And I think you can also still buy the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray's sold out for a little bit of time. I think they're back in stock. As I say, I don't work for these guys. I've never talked to them. I just love their stuff. So anyways, guys, until next time.